So it's just like I showed how the birds have an AI program, the human body has an AI program. The human, you have, and not all AI flesh programs are bad. Not all of them are bad. Survival is you want to survive down here. It's built in, it's programmed in you to survive, right? Reproduction. The man and the woman. The man's attracted to the woman. The woman wants a covering, and they come together and reproduce. And so the reproduction, survival, eating. You gotta work to. You gotta do something to make some money to eat. Sleeping, you get tired and you sleep. That's like an AI program, right? You get tired, so you go to sleep. So not all AI programs are bad, because the body, animals get tired, they get hungry, they survive. They want to survive no matter what. They fight for survival. So it's a program, and not all of them are bad. And you can call it a natural program if you want to. Now, the spirit of the air, the spirit of the age, takes that natural program and twists it and turns it upside down, perverts it, and turns it into unnatural program. If a person doesn't get saved, the natural program, see, they have to brainwash people through the media, through the news, they have to brainwash people to move them away from the natural program, which is beneficial to you. Survival, eating, reproduction. The only way they're gonna move you away from that is through systematic culture programming. And so, not all AI programs are bad, because your body is a ship. And so the ship has to survive for God's program to go along. So anyway, you see how the Gentiles went away from God, and the Jews, God called them and taught them how to worship and how to live and how to do right. So if something built into a human to not want to lie, to want to do right, it's built in there, but there's also a program that won't let them, because the energy of the flesh is weak. The flesh won't let you do right a lot of times. That's why you have to die to the flesh. That's why you must be born again and get some power from on high. You don't have the power to do right, but the Spirit of truth, the Spirit of God, Christ in you, the earnest of the Spirit, gives you the power. In the Old Testament, the Spirit of God would come on people and then leave. But in the New Testament, you're sealed by the Holy Spirit. Jesus went up and sent back the Holy Spirit. And so there's certain programs that are good. Reproduction, sleeping, eating, survival. You want to survive. But then any kind of program that takes over, and this is what happens with the narcissist. They would survive at all costs. It's like these warmongers they're going to survive at all costs, no matter who they kill. They have an agenda, and they're going to take down whoever. Whoever gets in their way, they're going to climb to the top, no matter whoever gets in their way. But you see what happens if you just run on a program of the world system. You're going to be stressed, and you're going to be eventually get cancer and all that stuff. It's a world program, and it's a culture program. It's a bloodline program. If the bloodline program controls you, you'll be just like your dad or your mama or whoever, or your grandmother. You'll be just like them. But you can change that program by the power of God. You know. I'm not saying it's easy, and it's not you doing it. You just have to start setting new patterns and new ways of thinking. And if somebody has stinking thinking, get away from them. I just had something come off a truck as I'm going down the highway, just blow out the back of a truck. Ain't that crazy? I didn't know what it was. And so that program, that old way of thinking, you know how it gets you in trouble, you know. God made marriage for a reason. He tells you in 1 Corinthians 7, he says, it's better to marry than to burn. The old-timey preachers, when they would marry you, they'd say the marriage was designed to repress irregular affections. So that reproduction program, that food program, so food eating is a great example. It's built into the human to want to eat something, right? But then there's a program of overeating, gluttony. So that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The program that was built into you, you can overdo it. You can go to extremes. And so eating is a program for survival, hunger. But if you overeat, you get too heavy. Eventually you get sick, get diabetes or whatever, and you have to go on medicine, and the medicine kills you, because it's really easy to solve it. Just quit eating. Just do some fasting. So one way to break a program, a culture program or a bloodline program, is to see. You ought to be able to see your program. You ought to be able to look at yourself from the outside in and see the program. And so how are you going to break that program? Well, Jesus said prayer and fasting. Some things only come out by prayer and fasting. And some people say, is fasting for today? Yes, for today. It's always been. What do you mean, is it for today? That's a stupid question. Intermittent fasting will change your whole world, health-wise, mind clarity, and all that stuff. You don't have to eat as much as you think you do. You really don't. And eating snacks in between meals, that's your worst enemy right there. But to break those programs, you have to do some introspection and look at yourself from the outside in and say, are you just running on a program? You know, being lazy. Sleeping's good. Sleeping's good, but if you carry it too far, it goes into laziness, right? There's certain programs that are good. Having a desire to get married, that's a good thing. But you better marry a saved person. And you really better marry a spirit-filled person, because most saved people are still caught up in the world. They don't know. Most of them can't even hear what I'm saying. So the AI flesh mind, some parts of it are good, but then you got some parts that are just pure evil. Pride. The pride of man is a program. God has to break you. Lust is a program. A bad program. Greed is a bad program. Idolatry is a bad program when God made you to worship Him. Stuff, worshiping stuff, wanting to hoard is a bad program. I caught myself doing that. recently, and I started just throwing stuff away. I actually put stuff out on the road that I didn't use for 3 years, and people grabbed it up, and I just let it go. It's a good feeling to get rid of junk out of your space. Get the junk out of your space. If you haven't used it in 3 years, either sell it on eBay or let go or offer up or sell it on something or just give it away. And if you give it away, it actually feels better. Because you know that, see, one of the AI programs is the scarcity mindset, living in fear. Fear is an AI program. It's a bad program. Hate is a bad program. A good program is, people have love for they have a built-in desire. You love your family, love your neighbor, but over time, the devil's trying to reprogram you to hate your neighbor, hate everybody around you. Unforgiveness is a bad program. Forgiveness is from on high. That's a different program. So the narcissist, the devil, and the devil's crowd, the witches, the warlocks, the agents of Babylon, they're trying to reprogram you from a natural program, what's good and right, to accept an unnatural program. And so hate is an unnatural program. Murder is an unnatural program. Drunkenness is an unnatural program. Drug addiction is an unnatural program. It's not natural. It's just not natural. It's a form of, actually, I've seen it. It's a form of laziness. And I think it's also a form of pride. But there's certain programs that are unnatural. Overeating, cheating on the spouse, that you have to overcome. You have to overcome it. Sleeping too much, laziness, bad program. There's certain programs you have got to overcome. But you can't. But you'll find out you can't do it. The spirit of the age is too powerful. It's in the music, it's in the TV, it's in the bloodline, it's in the culture. It's a culture program, and you have no power to overcome it unless you run to Jesus and get saved. If you can see the birds and the animals run on a program, you have a program as well, and you need to control it. But you'll find out you can't control it in your own power. The bad programs you need to control, but you'll find out you can't control them in your own power.